All right. Hi there, English 9. This is what happened today, Wednesday, the 26th. Mr. Pugh taught this particular lesson, but I'm going to go ahead and make the video in case you need a refresher or if you need notes or you need to catch up, and I'll show you some of the things I've done. So, your entry task today was how are you feeling about an Indian father's plea? How were you convinced or not convinced by the arguments he made? And there's some sentence frames here. I'm feeling blank about an Indian father's plea. I was or was not convinced of his argument because. So that's entry task. You know you have an entry task form in Google Documents. Over here, I've got an extra screen added in there for some reason now. In Google Classroom, I'll pick fourth period because why not? Scroll down to wherever you see entry tasks. Entry task form for this week is right here. So you will be able to go in there and it looks like this. And today was Wednesday. So we've done Monday and Tuesday already. All right. So there's your entry task. All done. Next thing was we are talking about logical fallacies. These go with ethos, pathos, and logos are rhetorical devices. So we're going to be able to identify some common fallacies by name, recognize some basic examples of the fallacies, and your essential question, because we took Cornell notes, your essential question is how can people be persuaded using faulty logic? I will pull up my Cornell notes, maybe. Here it is. Super quickly. So if I show you this, I'm going to try and make it bigger. Nope, I will not. Essentially, at 90% logical, what is your topic or objective? Logical fallacies. Put your name. There is a digital document for you. I handed out paper to those people who preferred it. Class period, date. Here's your essential question. How can people be persuaded using faulty logic? You'll see my notes are in here. Tomorrow, we're going to be adding the questions in the Q column after we finish up the very last touch-ups on our finishing Indian Father's Plea. Here's where you will write a summary. There you go. So that's what your notes are going to look like. Again, in Google Classroom, under today's date, logical fallacies. The slides are in here, and my Cornell notes are in here. And I think that here we go. Cornell notes on logical fallacies. Oh, those are mine. Look at me. I did that. Or maybe I filled it out. Take notes on your template. Who knows? Don't know what's going on. I'll try and figure that out. I might have written over the original. That happens to me sometimes. Love it when that happens. All right. Picking up where we left off. Notes you're going to be taking. First slide is about logical fallacies. You're naturally not going to write absolutely everything that is on the slide. You will need to know that logical fallacies are an error or a trick in your reasoning, that when you have invalid arguments that aren't right, or irrelevant points without evidence. So an error is an accident, a trick is purposefully misleading. Formal fallacies are actual errors of logic, meaning the conclusion doesn't really follow from, isn't supported by the premises, but there are actual studies in this as a formal thing. Most of the ones we're going to be studying are not formal, they are informal. Informal fallacies involve bringing irrelevant information into an argument, or they're based on assumptions that aren't right. Let me show you my Cornell notes here. So here's what I've written. Logical fallacies should say an error or trick. I'll fix it. An error or trick in reasoning when invalid arguments or irrelevant points are introduced without evidence to support. An error is an accident. A trick is purposefully misleading. I have a definition for formal fallacies. Errors of logic. Conclusion doesn't follow the evidence. Informal fallacies. Bringing irrelevant information into an argument based on incorrect assumptions. So If you want to copy it, you can pause on the slide. You can pause on my Cornell notes. I'm going to go on with what I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, going to the next slide. Logical fallacies. Logical fallacies of ethos relate to credibility, because that's what ethos pulls on, is the speaker's credibility. They may unfairly build up the credibility of one person or unfairly attack the credibility of the other person. Fallacies of logos give an unfair advantage to the claims of the speaker or writer and an unfair disadvantage to his opponent's claims. Fallacies of pathos rely excessively on emotional appeals, having positive associations with the person who is attempting to persuade you, and negative associations with the person he or she is arguing against. Again, what my notes look like from here are formal fallacies. Did that. Informal fallacies. Here we go. I just wrote down fallacies of ethos are about credibility. Fallacies of logos, unfair advantage to speakers' claims or unfair disadvantages opponents' claims. And the fallacies of pathos rely overly on an emotional appeal. Okay, first one of these fallacies is something called straw man. And what it is when you use an argument stronger by showing something, distorting somebody's image, showing something ridiculous. You'll see that in an example. And the goal is to make your argument seem stronger than the other or easily defeat the other. It's an informal kind of fallacy, and the example is in, most of these are in videos of The Simpsons.
Empower your students to be more authentic, impactful writers with Grammarly's comprehensive AI writing assistant.
Straw man fallacy. To present a weak argument that can easily be refuted so that your argument looks better by contrast.
I can't believe they invented it!
Hello, everybody. I'm Troy McClure, star of such films as P is for Psycho and The President's Neck is Missing. But now I'm here to tell you about a remarkable new invention. Until now, this was the only way to get juice from an orange.
You mean there's a better way?
But that's all changed, thanks to the juice loosener. Let's meet the inventor, Dr. Nick Riviera.
Hello, Troy. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Troy, would you like a glass of orange juice?
I sure would. But won't we have to pay those outrageous grocery store prices for something the farmer probably spit in?
Not anymore. All thanks to the new juice loosener.
Doctor, are you sure it's on? I can't hear a thing.
It's Whisper Quiet.
You got all that from one bag of oranges?
In this clip, Troy McClure tries to persuade infomercial viewers that the juice loosener is a useful invention by first asserting that the only other way to get juice out of an orange was squeezing it against your face. He deliberately sets up a weaker argument, that of getting juice out of an orange by squeezing it against your face, so that the juice loosener looks better by contrast. By setting up a weak argument to be refuted and making his own argument look better by contrast, Troy McClure creates a straw man.
Subscribe to Colbert Classroom and be on the lookout for.
All right, so that's the first one. With the explanation. So, my notes for straw man, you can tell, straw man is making an argument seem stronger by distorting or changing the original argument, mostly uses in the case of logos. There you go. There's all the notes for there. Okay, the next one is red herring. It distracts from the main topic of an argument by introducing something totally irrelevant and off point. It's an informal argument, and here's an example. My notes are, well, I'll show you after the example.
Red herring, when a person raises an irrelevant side issue to divert attention from the real issue.
Down with taxes! Down with taxes! Down with taxes!
You think of the children.
Are these morons getting dumber or just louder?
Dumber, sir. They won't give up the bear patrol, but they won't pay taxes for it either.
Ducking this issue calls for real leadership. People, your taxes are high because of illegal immigrants. That's right, illegal immigrants. We need to get rid of them.
Immigrants. I knew it was them. Even when it was the bears, I knew it was them.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
In 1 week, the town will vote on a special referendum whether or not to deport all illegal immigrants from Springfield. It shall be known as Proposition 24.
In this clip, Mayor Quimby distracts the voters from the issue of higher taxes. By bringing up the issue of illegal immigrants, the mayor diverts the attention of the citizens away from the taxes. Although the mayor asserts a connection between the two issues, the citizens soon forget about the tax issue completely and focus on the issue of illegal immigrants. By using a distraction to divert attention from the real issue, Mayor Quimby uses a red herring.
Subscribe to Colbert Classroom and
All right, so there's that one with the explanations. It's generally logos, but could be ethos or pathos as well. My notes show red herring distracts from the main topic of an argument by introducing an irrelevant point, mostly logos. Yes, there's some more. All right. The next one is a logical fallacy called ad hominem. It is an attempt to discredit someone's argument by personally attacking them. It's an informal logical fallacy, and our example is here.
Ad hominem occurs when someone attacks the character or motives of a person instead of focusing on the issues.
I'm sorry my opponent didn't think enough of you to show up for this debate. I'm sure he had more important things to do.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. Somebody tampered with my brakes.
Well, then you should have been early.
Hey, got you there, eh?
Oh, come on, people. This man has promised round-the-clock trash pickup. That's impossible.
Not if we hire more men. And my men will do all your messy jobs. They'll wash your car, scrub your shower, air out your stinkables.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Well, then you better turn up your hearing aid, Pops.
Pops? I'm only 2 years older than you.
Do we want old man Patterson here with his finger on the button?
What button? What the hell are you talking about?
What button? Where am I? Who took my false teeth?
All right, fine. If you want an experienced public servant, vote for me. But if you want to believe a bunch of crazy promises about garbage men cleaning your gutters and waxing your car, then by all means, vote for this sleazy lunatic.
In this clip, Homer attacks the credibility of Ray Patterson simply because he appears old. In other words, he asserts that Patterson is not competent because he has gray hair. Patterson's ideas are, of course, independent of his looks. By not seeing Patterson for his ideas and instead seeing him in terms of his looks, Homer commits the ad hominem fallacy.
subscribe to Colbert Classroom and be on the lookout for.
All right, there's that one. I think there's probably one more thing that it'll add. Ethos plays with ethos, messes with people's credibility. So there we go. We have ad hominem, an attempt to discredit someone's argument by personally attacking them. Primarily ethos, which is their reputation and their reliability, their credibility. So there's ad hominem. Hasty generalization is another one. This occurs when someone makes a claim based on a sample that's too small or atypical. It's an informal logical fallacy, and an example is here.
Hasty generalization. When someone reaches a conclusion that is based on too little evidence.
Everybody come quick, they're hatching!
I see a foot. I see an eye. I see a neck.
I see a horn.
A horn? Man, those are some funky-looking birds.
Oh, oh, you look like a little tiny dinosaur. Ow! There's one vicious baby bird.
Dad, they aren't birds. Sure they are. They came from eggs in a bird's nest. Therefore, they're birds. Ixo, fatso. 1, they don't have beaks. 2, they don't have feathers. And 3, they're lizards. You're a lizard.
In this clip, Bart asserts that the animals he hatched must be birds because they were born from eggs in a bird's nest. By extension, he implies that all animals born from eggs in a bird's nest must be birds. He fails to recognize that there are other animals who share this characteristic, and that there are more characteristics than just being born from eggs in a bird's nest that define birds as birds. By asserting that one characteristic necessarily makes something belong to a certain group, Bart uses a hasty generalization.
Subscribe to Colburn Classroom and be on the lookout for new videos.
Post hoc fallacy. Because two events occur close.
All right. Yes, there's lots more logical fallacies. We're only covering a couple of them. So, this is based on logic, logos. So that is hasty generalization. Again, my Cornell notes are there. Occurs when someone argues that taking a small step. The small step will invariably lead to a disaster. I haven't gotten to that one yet. Okay, that's okay. Hasty generalization about the birds, things born in nests. Where are my notes? What have I done? Have I mixed something up? Probably. This is slippery slope. What do you know? I typed the same thing. I'll figure it out. My notes are not accurate. Bandwagon, slippery slope. I gotta fix hasty generalization. Maybe I can do it now. Nope. Control C. I'm going to come over here. I'll just fix it later. Oh, well. I'm almost there. Almost, but not quite. 14. Arial 14. All right. Did I do something over here? Let's see. Argues. All right. Just did it twice. That's all. I was doing this while I'm doing something else. That's what happens when you multitask. Hasty generalization. Okay. That's the lizards. Here's slippery slope. Slippery slope is when someone argues taking the one small step will inevitably lead to a chain of events that results in a disastrous outcome, often without sufficient evidence to support the connection. Your example, it's logos and pathos. Here's your example.
Slippery slope occurs when a person argues that one thing will inevitably result in another.
Come join us, Lisa. It's so cool. You get to stay up all night drinking blood. And if you say you're a vampire, you get a free small soda at the movies. No! No! Lisa, it's not like you have a choice here.
How many times have I told you not to bite your sis? Wait a minute! You are a vampire!
Quick! We have to kill the boy!
How'd you know he's a vampire?
He's a vampire? Ah!
Homer, we gotta do something. Today he's drinking people's blood. Tomorrow he could be smoking.
In this clip, Homer and Marge fear that Bart's becoming a vampire will lead to him smoking. They fear that one act against social norms will inevitably lead to others, even though the two have nothing to do with each other. In reality, drinking blood will not necessarily lead to smoking cigarettes. By assuming that one action or event will have disastrous consequences, Homer and Marge commit the slippery slope fallacy.
Subscribe to Colbert Classroom.
All right, let's see. Logos and pathos, and there's one last one, I believe. Let me look. Bandwagon. Yep. All right, so bandwagon is a logical fallacy that occurs when someone assumes that something is true because many others believe it. It is an informal fallacy, and there is an example. So here we go.
Bandwagon fallacy occurs when you try to convince people that something is true because it is widely held to be true.
Alex, over here. Okay, if the new girl sits with us?
Okay, I guess.
She's a little weird, but let's give her a chance. Guys, this is Alex.
Hi there.
Hi.
Ooh, twins. Which one is the evil one?
Okay, I'll go get our lunches.
So, Alex, will you just a sec? Hello?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, like I'd be seen with a Discover card.
You have a cell phone and a purse? That's it. Don't be shy. Now maybe a little joke to break the ice. Or a big joke. Careful now. Nobody likes a show off. Where are they going? Hey, wait up! They left without me. So there I am, being nice to Alex, and she takes all of my friends and ditches me.
I'm sure they didn't ditch you, honey. Maybe they went off to plan a surprise party for you.
Oh, yeah. Good one, Mom. They only like her because she acts so grown up with her perfume and her cell phone and... Oh, and get this, Mom. She drinks iced tea.
Lisa, I can't imagine anyone being more likable than you. But apparently this new girl is. So my advice would be to start copying her in every way.
But, Dad...
Think. Is that what Alex would say?
In this clip, Homer tells Lisa that she should do whatever makes her popular. He says Lisa should act the way the popular girl in school acts because being popular is more important than being herself. Lisa wants to act her age and enjoy being a child, but Homer advises that she do what Alex does, which would mean acting more adult. By advising Lisa to do something merely because it would bring popularity, Homer commits the bandwagon fallacy.
Subscribe to Colbert Classroom and be on the lookout.
All right, so those were the notes we took today. This one plays primarily on pathos, plays on your emotion. You don't want to be left behind or left out. Now we went through these in class. We had to classify them. Since you don't like Avengers, you must hate all movies ever made. That's a straw man. I saw a few teenagers vandalizing property, so all teenagers are troublemakers. It's going to be the hasty generalization that one set represents the others. I have a solid plan for combating corruption. I also have a 10-point plan for creating more jobs. What we need is economic growth, so the first point in my 10-point employment plan is red herring, because it's talking about corruption and then talks about creating jobs. Totally leaves behind the whole concept of corruption and goes on to other things. So we don't know, distracts you. I have no idea. He, she, it. If we let kids use cell phones in class, soon they'll be watching movies during lectures. That's so true. Oh, no. That's a slippery slope. Yeah, you can let them do it once. They'll always do it. No, not necessarily. Where's the other one? You can't trust what he says about the economy. He's just a poor college student. Makes a person unreliable. Ad hominem, if you need to go back and look at your definitions. Discrediting them by saying they're just dismissing them. There you go. Running a red light's fine since people do it all the time. Jump on the bandwagon. Let's all do it together. Everybody's doing it. So, there we go. Two people I know on social media had a bad experience with a certain brand, so that brand must be terrible. Let's look. Distorting or changing. Where's my second page? I know it's not a bandwagon. I don't think it's not slippery slope. Discrediting, changing the argument, irrelevant point, discredits. I think it's, let's see what it is. Yep, hasty generalization. Good. That's where I ended up. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of these in there. If you give a friend a ride to work, once they'll expect you to drive them every day. Slippery slope, that's not true. Do it once, you're stuck forever. Makes that jump, skips all the steps in between. The food is cold, and then it's a dessert, which is not true anyway. Then it's a salad is cold, but salad isn't a sweet. So it can't be a dessert. Where did the salad come in? Red herring. We were talking about, I don't know, were we talking about food being cold or about a dessert? But either way, salad ended up in there. I have no idea. Hard to take your claims seriously because you spend your time playing video games. Ad hominem, we're attacking people. I think we should get a dog. Why do you hate cats? Making a, weird little jump between two things. Distorting the original argument. We should get a dog. Instead of addressing that, kind of deflects. If you're shopping for a smartphone, go with the iPhone 13. It's the best-selling phone right now. Numbers don't lie. Bandwagon. Everybody jump on. Anyway, I'm going to run through the rest of these. We did these in class. We'll be doing them again. Parent, your curfew is 10. Party doesn't even start till 9. It's a school night, so you need to be home by 10. You just want me to be unpopular. You don't care about my happiness. So not true. Straw man. Everyone else is going to attend a four-year university, so I'm going to do the same. Instead of taking classes at the local community college, everybody's doing it. Jump on the bandwagon. Widening the road will lead to more traffic in town. More cars on the road will lead to more collisions. Okay, maybe so, which will make our town a dangerous place to walk or drive. What? Not necessarily. Slippery slope. A few articles about a politician being dishonest, so they must be completely untrustworthy. It's kind of taking a small sample and making it apply to everybody, which is a hasty generalization. You're generalizing things. Can't you always leave your stuff all over the room? You don't lock the door behind you and the trash is piling up. You are a slob. Well, you never pull your car all the way in the driveway, so I'm always stuck having to park on the street. Red herring. We're talking about the cleanliness of the house. How do we end up out in the street in the car? Distract. Don't answer the question. Steve thinks the earth is flat, so who knows what other crazy stuff he believes. Attack him, attack him, attack him ad hominem. Because of the thefts in our building, I think we should add more security cameras. So you're saying you don't trust your neighbors? Not necessarily. Straw man. Stop leaving your trash all over the sidewalk. I bet they deflect. Yep, there we go. The lawn's overgrown. You're the last person who should care about garbage on the sidewalk. Ad hominem. Makes a request and now kind of goes on the offensive. Go to the pizza place for dinner, but have you heard about the new sushi restaurant? Totally changing topics. Red herring. Neighbor's dog is aggressive. All dogs. Hasty generalization. If emotional support dogs are allowed on campus, what's going to stop students? Oh, they'll be ridiculous. Slippery slope. Twilight must be a great book because everybody seems to read it. There we go with the bandwagon. I think we should mute debaters' microphones when it's their opponent's turn to speak so they can't interrupt each other. Makes sense to me. I disagree because I support free speech. Straw man. A new report said that Iceland is a top travel destination for Americans, so we booked a vacation there, jumping right on board the bandwagon. You have no idea what you're talking about. You've only lived here for 6 months. That's discrediting that person ad hominem. I know you don't want me to borrow the car, but I was going to pick up coffee for you. Don't you love coffee? Ooh, distract and switch. Red herring. At the birthday I attended over the weekend, there was a clown. Clowns are part of birthday parties. Generalization. One birthday party doesn't stand for all of them. First, they'll allow residents to keep chickens in the yard, then they'll start allowing people to keep pigs and sheep. Soon, the entire neighborhood will be one giant livestock farm. Slippery slope. And that looks like the end of those. So, make sure you get your notes. I'll try and go in and check mine out and make sure I've applied the right thing. There you go. That's what we're doing.